In the world of fake news, we no longer have to worry about hoaxes. We now have to deal with hoaxes. Friday, when President Trump called the Dems' attempt to politicize the coronavirus a hoax, how did the media portray that? That he was calling the virus a hoax. Yeah, the Washington Post's Dana Milbank kicked it off with this. Remember this moment? Trump in South Carolina just called the coronavirus a hoax. Politico lazily picked it up with this headline. Biden blasts Trump for calling coronavirus a hoax. True, the hoax spread like a virus to desperate Democratic candidates, Joe Biden and also Mike Bloomberg trumpeting this lie, even though anyone who read Trump's actual quote could see it was BS. But the media expects us not to do that. They hope our laziness will let hoaxing hacks like Milbank get away with their misinformation. And if you point out their lies, then CNN's hall monitors will accuse you of politicizing it. The "I know you are, but what am I" school of debate that is then met with laughter. But even as there are hacks, there's hope, as better reporters now promptly call out these fake news viruses. After Bloomberg blasted Trump for calling it a hoax, reporter Scott Pelley stopped him.
I find it incomprehensible that the president would do something as inane as calling it a hoax, which he did last night in South Carolina.
He said that the Democrats making so much of it is a Democratic hoax, not that the virus was a hoax.
This is up to the scientists and the doctors as to whether there is a problem.
There you go. Pelley wasn't the only one. Others on Twitter quickly called out the lie, which forces the media to find another path to hammer those they hate. That's the problem with the media's bias. It's not so much contagious as it is incurable. The best defense? Washing your hands of them.
I like what you did there.
That was a landing of a line. Washing your hands of them. I should just leave right now. I should just go home and get to my house early and have ribs. Alone in the dark. Emily.
Yes.
What do you think? You know, Facebook actually identified the Politico story as fake news. That's pretty cool, Facebook.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's troubling that we're hearing these guys parrot the same things that have been debunked, especially when it's so easy. And it's in the face of something that has the potential for a really big deal on this country, for them to be obsessing over the president's response. The market had its worst week in 12 years. So that shows you what humans take seriously. It's not impeachment trials. It's not, oh my gosh, collusion. It's not all of this stuff that's been rammed down our throats as opposed to the next Armageddon. It actually is a public health situation. So to me, it kind of, it brings up and highlights what is important, and certainly the media's coverage, the obsession with the hoax comment, it's off the mark.
You know, Dana, they also said Trump was muzzling Fauci, and then that turned out to be, well, Fauci pushed back on that as well.
Dr. Fauci's one of my, do we have the sound? No.
Do we have sound? I don't think we have.
I wasn't sure.
How dare you?
I wasn't sure if I should step on.
We do not have sound, Dana.
You would step on it.
This isn't like the daily briefing.
I do love Dr. Fauci, and I like it that he stepped up to the podium to say, let me be very clear, I wasn't muzzled. And what he was explaining made a lot of sense. When the president put Vice President Pence in charge, the vice president was like, let's just take half a moment to look at all the things that we're doing, all the different parts of government, and get one cohesive unit so that we are speaking clearly and transparently to the American people. That made a lot of sense to me. Also, when it comes to, if you're on the campaign trail and you hear something that sounds just too good to be true,
right,
and that President Trump said that you want to run with, check yourself, because it usually is not true, and then you look foolish.
Jesse, should the media apologize to you?
No, I expect the Chinese to apologize before the media. You really were excited about that monologue, weren't you?
No, the ending. I thought
You were
about
really excited about
washing
that.
your hands of them was like a nice turn of phrase I'm quite proud of. I only get one of those a year.
Well, I think you do more than that, but congrats, Greg. Well said. I think the president has handled this virus very well. Only two things I think you can criticize the guy for. If you look at the CDC, they had the contamination at the test site that got the test kits out too slowly, and a CDC hospital worker released a woman who was infected. She'd been tested positive. That was a mistake. Those are substantive issues that you can say, you guys better clean that up. And they have cleaned those things up. But to say that, you know, the president's lying, to say that he's muzzling doctors, to say that he's cutting the CDC is ridiculous. To say that the task force is too white or Pence is too religious to run it is ridiculous. To say, Pence is going to pray the virus away. He's not equipped to handle this. The New York Times runs 2 columns comparing the president to the virus. Paul Krugman celebrates the Dow dropping. The Washington Post encouraging Democrats to make hay politically out of the virus. And my favorite, CNN says that the travel restriction that Trump did was racist and would backfire. And today, CNN puts their own travel restriction on their own employees because it's such a big deal. So look at the Dow. Look at the study that said that the United States is the best prepared country to handle this. And Gallup poll says that 77% of the American people are confident in the administration's response to the virus.
Speaking of CNN, Juan, there was a lower third they had when they said, like, can we stop the coronavirus or Bernie Sanders? So it's like kind of like, why would they put that together? Yes.
That's clever.
That's that one. But I have something to say here, because I think exacerbating the kind of political divide makes people less safe. And to my mind, the virus is apolitical. The virus will get you no matter where you are, right? So I think people see through that. To have people see the virus through a partisan lens is, to me, dangerous. I mean, it's a little bit like, you know, the anti-vaxxers who made this thing so political, whether or not you vaccinate. I think that's crazy, and I think it's regrettable. So, yes, I agree with you that the president did not say that the virus was a hoax. What he said was the Democrats, the way that they're talking about it, amounts to a hoax. But guess what, Greg? A lot of the people at that rally interpreted as, you know what, this might be a hoax.
How do you know?
I think that meant for them, it was like, you know what, we've got nothing to worry about. The president
Juan,
says,
how do you know what people thought of
because
that?
that's the way. That's the reaction. In fact, I don't have
That's
to.
mind reading.
Excuse me.
It's
I don't
mind
have.
reading.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Because you know what? You watch in terms of the conservative media environment, the websites, the talk radio. It's all. Oh, you know what? You don't have anything to worry about. This is coming from the Trump statement. It's a hoax. And again, you talk about people who misinterpret what the hoax was. They're interpreting it as the hoax is.
So
this
it's the
is not
rubes.
a big virus.
It's the rubes at the rally.
That's what. No. I'm talking about media voices that you can put names to, and I'm saying this is dangerous because it should be apolitical from both sides, not just one side saying, "Oh yeah, we're the apolitical." No, America, the virus will get you unless you take the appropriate steps, pay attention, don't get emotional, and we trust our leaders.
You know what I think, though, the population is getting smarter about taking reporting at face value. In a weird way, their skepticism is their immune system.
Oh, and you did it again.
Yes.
Lightning
Unbelievable.
struck twice.